from our sponsor. Advanced Elements is the leader in design and manufacturing of inflatable kayaks with cutting-edge technology and providing excellent customer service. All of their products are designed to give paddlers the tools they need at a value they deserve. Check them out at advancedelements.com or call toll-free at 866-262-9076. Hello, and welcome to Paddling and Pedaling Florida Adventures. I'm your host, Mr. D. Hey, today we're going to be looking at a product. Let me give you a little backstory. I used to have the Insta360 X2, and I did a dumb out there. I had it on a long pole. I was trying to do some filming of me pulling a kayak down to a launch. It lost its footing, and it did a header. And it put a real minor chip in the lens. Now, I'm picky. I don't want to have any lens issues or any shadowing or anything like that. Now, most people, they wouldn't even notice it, but I noticed it. So I said, well, the new X3 just came out. It's got some pretty decent features to it. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and pick up the X3. But I don't want to repeat the same problem again. Well, further investigations into the Insta360 application, I didn't know there's a setup there if you have the clear lens covers on your camera. And you go to that setting and it changes perspective a little bit, so you still get your clean and clear shots, but it also adapts for the addition of the new lens covers. Now, getting these, I was real worried about which ones to get, and they're going to work. Is it going to mess up the photos and all that kind of stuff and the footage? I finished up settling for a company named Amagason, and they come in this little box like this. And what we're going to do today, because I didn't know I just thought you could just stick them on there and you're good to go. Well, that's not the case. For instance, the recess on the front lens is thicker than on the rear lens, and there's some notch stuff you got to do. So anyway, we're going to go through the installation process of this. Now, I have not done this. All I did was read the instruction thing. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but I want to just make sure I get this done right, because they're not cheap either. So anyway, hey, without further ado, let's get this thing going. All right, guys, so here we go with the installation of the Amagason, and I think that Amagason is how do you pronounce it? It definitely is a Chinese product that came out, and let me go through some of these things. This is the pick. Now, the pick is used to remove the lens covers, and if you want to replace some adhesive, they give you one full set of additional adhesive setup. The instruction card is pretty good, being it's in Chinese and in English, but it's actually not that big a deal. But I did scan this code, and it went through a video, and the video told me about the thickness differences of the lenses and the notching. Now, if you look at the camera right here, you see that little notch. Now, that little notch plays a big role in when you're putting these lens covers on. So the first thing I'm going to do, being this is a brand new camera, and I've used it only a couple times, but I didn't want to repeat what happened to the X2. So I'm doing a step that they don't call for, and basically all I'm doing is adding a little bit of isopropyl alcohol to a Q-tip. I'm going to squeeze out any excess, and then right around the lens where the adhesive is going to be, I'm going to just basically clean that area with isopropyl alcohol, both sides. Now, they said, and I can see it, there's a height difference right here. Let me get this up close. There is a height difference right here between that, the front lens, and your rear lens. Now, this is lower and this one's higher. Now, I didn't know that. When you're putting your lens covers on, you will see them marked front and back, and that's how you want to put them on. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, guys, is go ahead and install the front lens, and you see this little mic notch right here. That's where you want this to go, right like that. Then press this firmly so your lens cover is on. I'm going to take this rag and just kind of just basically go around the perimeter, and the front lens has been installed. Now I'm going to go to the back lens and do the same process. Now the back lens is thinner than the front lens, so make sure you don't get that messed up. So you just look at the sign here, it says back lens, that's this one, and that'd be the one facing you. And do the same thing. I'm going to spin it this way, find the notch. And actually I felt that one kind of, oop. Okay. Alright guys, I got the front and rear lens covers mounted, as you can see here. It wasn't difficult to do. What I'm doing now is just basically making sure that everything is seated. And it is. One thing I'm wondering, I have one of those lens covers. And with this lens guard on, is that going to stop me from using this product here? So we're going to find that out right now. I'm going to kind of pooch it and see if this will still work. Yep, okay. So you can still use the lens cover for your X3 even though you have the lens guards on. Just kind of pooch it a little bit, and then it'll come off and you're good to go. Now what I'm doing now is just kind of cleaning things up, making sure everything is seated where it should be seated. I'm going to go out and do some quick footage here, some 360 footage to see if this thing went bad or if the quality of the footage is still there. So hey, we'll be back in a bit. When I opened up the Insta360 application, and if you go to the puzzle piece right here, you'll see normal. This is normal. Then you see right below that, you'll see sticky lens guard. You click that and you see how it adapted? It adapted to different perspectives from adding the extra glass to both lenses. And it actually did a pretty good job, as you can see here. It looks good. Now we've got a tropical storm hurricane coming in tomorrow, so that's why the weather's so yucky and I couldn't go outside because it's ugly out there. So anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you in a bit. Hi guys, we're going to wrap it up for this episode of Paddling and Pedaling Florida Adventures. And this has been a product review for the A Magazine lens covers for the Insta360 X3. Now, they installed well. I got a little confused on the front and back thing. The front lens is the one that is thicker, and the back lens is the one that's thinner. So make sure you don't get that messed up. I got the notches all lined up like they're supposed to be, and the cool thing is my lens cover protector fits with these bigger lens covers on, and it just goes like that, and there we go. Now, one of the things I have learned with this lens cover, when you take it off, make sure you wipe the lenses clean, because there is no liner inside. It's just rubber. So it's going to smudge your lenses a little bit. Make sure you have some lens cloth with you, and once you take this thing off, make sure you clean up your lenses, because otherwise it will mess up your footage and give you some smears and stuff like that. And I found that out the hard way. So now I always have that with me, and when I pull this cover off, just like that, and I take my lens cloth and wipe over the lenses like this, and I know everything is clean and it's ready to go. So anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you on the next one.